Okay, this is our week 3 mental challenge. We're focusing on consequences. This is part 1. Now, first of all, what are consequences? Usually when I ask this to a lot of kids, they'll usually say, oh, consequences are when you get in trouble, like if you get punished. Yes, that is a consequence. Here's the thing, that's a bad consequence. There are also good consequences, okay? So think about this. What if you are training in our martial arts classes and you're working really hard, you're focusing, you're paying attention, you're putting in a lot of work, you're kicking up as high as you can, you're listening, you're doing your hand strikes, you're doing everything really, really well. You do the belt test and you do a really good job on the belt test. What are the consequences? Well, the consequences are you earn your next belt level. That's a great consequence, right? So consequences don't always necessarily mean something good or something bad. Consequences just mean the result of. A consequence is if you do this, this happens. So if you do something good happens. If you do something bad happens. A consequence is just the result of. Now, this is also the really important thing that I want our students to understand. Who's in control of our consequences? Who's in control? So a lot of kids think that it's your parents. Your parents are in control. No, you're in control. You are in control of your consequences. What do I mean by that? Sometimes if their parents say, here's a rule, you can't do this thing. Okay, what if you don't do that thing? Do you get in trouble? No. If you don't do that thing, you don't get in trouble. What if you do that thing? Well, now you get in trouble, right? Okay, so now maybe the consequences are your parents, maybe they ground you, maybe they take away your electronics, maybe you can't play video games or whatever, okay? But here's the thing, you chose to do or not do that thing. And this is important. I want students to understand, all of us, we are in control of our consequences. We get to pick, are we gonna do this thing or are we not gonna do this thing, okay? So here's the thing, your parents don't wake up every morning and go, yes! I can't wait to punish my son. Or they don't wake up saying, oh boy, I can't wait to punish my daughter. They don't do that. They want you to be happy. They want you to succeed. They want you to pick the right thing, okay? You have to decide, are you gonna do the right thing or are you not gonna do the right thing? It's not our parents. You're in control of that. So this is important. So first I want you guys all to understand, consequences could be good, could be bad, and we get to pick, each of us, we are in control of our consequences. Okay, now, here's something else. I want you to also think about positive consequences, okay? So, when you go to school, some of us right now, when we're filming this, we're in the quarantine right now, so some of us have online school, okay? When things calm back down to normal and people start going back to school again, why do you go to school? Why do you go to school? What consequences do you want from going to school? Well, you want the consequence of learning. You want the consequence of getting smarter. If you go to school, if you study, if you pay attention, if you listen, the consequences are you get a better grade. The consequences are you get smarter, right? So that's a very good consequence. What are some other things in your life that if you do something, you have a really good consequence, okay? So here's something else. And here's gonna be the question. I've got 3 questions for you for this mental challenge, okay? The first question, and parents, if you wanna help your kids with this, you can absolutely do that. The first question is, I want you to think of something bad that you could do, and what would be a consequence of that? So what's something, if you did something you shouldn't do, what could be a bad consequence? That's the first question. The second question is, okay, what's something good? What is something good that you can do? What would be a good consequence? So it could be, okay, well, what if you help your mom or dad clean the kitchen? What would the consequence be? Maybe they're really happy and they're proud of you. That's a good consequence, right? Think about what is something you could do that's good where you have a good consequence. So those are the first 2 questions. What's something bad that you could do? What would be a bad consequence? What's something good that you can do? What would be a good consequence? Okay, now, the third question is this. What is a trait that you have that if you keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and you keep working on it, the consequences are it's gonna help you get a black belt. So here's the thing, maybe you need to be really focused. If you can keep being focused, that's gonna help you get your next belt level. That's gonna help you get the next belt level. That's gonna help you keep training and keep on working until you get your black belt. What is a trait? What about, okay, well, if I work really hard, if I have a good work ethic, If I work really, really hard, if I keep that up, if I keep working really hard, that's gonna help me get my black belt. So the consequence of working really hard is I get my black belt. What's a trait that you have that you can keep working on? Maybe a trait is you are really focused, you're listening, you're dedicated, you're committed, you don't quit, you keep trying. What's a consequence from this, from that trait, that's gonna help you earn your black belt? So I want you to think, what's one trait that you have? What's one trait that you have that you need to keep working on, and that's gonna help you get a consequence of earning your black belt, okay? So what trait do you have? What thing can you keep doing that's gonna help you get your black belt? That's what I want you to think of, okay? Those are the 3 questions. That's our mental challenge for the week. Good luck.